Coalition Avenir Quebec leader François Legault says Quebecers are not interested in electoral reform. Now, that's even though his party is projected to win roughly 100 seats in the 125-seat legislature in Monday's election. This even though it's polling at less than 40% support. But Mr. Legault says he is open to working with opposition parties on issues such as the environment and the protection of French. But at a campaign stop in Montreal yesterday, Liberal leader Dominique Anglade said she didn't believe Mr. Legault's show of good faith. Well, with us now to discuss the state of the Quebec election is Dr. Béland, professor at McGill University and director of the McGill Institute for the Study of Canada. Sir, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Thanks for your invitation.
Now, as we mentioned, the CAQ has been projected to win a majority. So do you think this election has largely been a battle for second place?
Yes, we are talking a lot about who might form the official opposition in the province. It could be the Liberals again, but the Liberals have lost ground in the polls even since the last provincial election. We have also Québec Solidaire, which is the left-wing party, which is strong, especially among younger voters and in big cities. And there is also the Parti Québécois, which is doing better in the polls than at the beginning of the campaign. And finally, the Conservative Party of Quebec, which used to be quite marginal in Quebec politics, but is now doing quite well. So all these four opposition parties are neck and neck in the polls in terms of popular votes, but we expect the Liberals probably to have more seats because the support is more concentrated in specific geographical areas like on the West Island of Montreal.
Now, as we mentioned, Mr. Legault said he is open to working with opposition parties when it comes to environmental issues and French language protection. But what have been some of the other major issues of the campaign trail?
Well, we have talked a lot about immigration, including controversial comments on the part of the premier and one of his ministers recently. So immigration has been top of mind, I think, in terms of the discussions, really. The environment is a major issue, and the CAQ has been criticized for not doing enough to address climate change. So healthcare is always a big topic in provincial politics, and our healthcare system suffers from quite a few challenges right now. Long-term care is also an issue. So yes, plenty of topics, plenty of issues to talk about during this campaign.
And amid all these issues, what has the overall mood of the election been among voters in Quebec following the pandemic? And of course, now we have the issue of inflation.
Well, I think inflation is a major concern for most people. Participation in advance voting was quite high on Sunday and Monday. So we hope that participation will be high as well on Monday, on election day. But I think, yes, economic issues are very important to voters, and inflation is I would say, a priority for all the parties to explain what they will do if they form government to address this pain, really, that many people feel at the pump and feel when they go to the supermarket and so forth. Also, housing is an issue that in Quebec used to be, including Montreal, quite affordable in terms of housing, but things have changed quite rapidly, and this has become an issue related to inflation.
All right, Mr. Béland, now just about a minute left here, but what are you keeping your eyes on as the campaign trail proceeds up until the election this upcoming Monday?
Well, I think I will look at especially what's happening in the different ridings where the leaders of these parties are really fighting for their political life. Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, the leader of the PQ, Dominique Anglade, the leader of the Liberal Party of Quebec, and Éric Duhaime, the leader of the Conservative Party of Quebec, are not certain at all to actually win a seat in the National Assembly. So we'll see whether they can actually make a case for that and win a seat on Monday night.
Lots to keep our eyes on in this upcoming election. Sir, thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
You're most welcome. Take care.